Blog Talk Radio.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sunny. Welcome to tonight's show. Welcome to GFT Radio Show. I said it right, Ro? I had to check with him. I said GFT. I said it right. Shush. If you're listening right now, you're on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. Today is May 11th, 2017, and welcome. Guys, you want to say hi?
What up, everybody? Your boy J. Rowe. Missing me for a while, but I'm finally back in it.
Welcome back.
Right. Welcome back. Welcome back. What up? This is Willie Styles. What up, Doe? Glad to have everybody listening in on the show. We got some good topics tonight.
This your boy Beasley. You know, man, it's my first time on here. Hopefully I'll be back again, you know. But looking forward to what's about to happen and the information we're about to relay over to you guys. Stay tuned.
Yes. I want to say, I got a lot to say real quick, but I'm going to try to get it out the way. Willie has now become an official GFT radio show host. So thank you, Willie, he was always a long-time supporter, and now he is an actual host. So, Willie!
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Right?
Shout out to Chill Will.
Right? J. Rowe, y'all know, that if y'all been following the show, y'all know J. Rowe been MIA. He had a lot going on between military stuff and just life. So J. Rowe, expect the official welcome back J. Rowe show. So welcome back.
I appreciate that.
Yes, welcome home, brother. Welcome home.
Yes, you have been missed.
Welcome back, good brother.
We'll talk about my trip later. We'll talk about my trip in the after show. But, yeah, it was crazy, but I definitely appreciate being back, though.
Yes, and if you already know, y'all know Clint is not on the show tonight. We miss you, Clint. Hopefully you are listening. He's been tweeting about the show so far, so we know he's been giving support. So we miss you. Hope you tuning in. If you catch the playback, hopefully we did it justice. Also want to welcome our guest host for tonight, Beezy. Thank you for joining us.
Of my pleasure. Thanks for having me. You heard me?
He's going to be a character, y'all, so y'all got to stay tuned for him and his randomness. I met him, I met him a while back. We went on like a couple's, escape room thing, and it was mad fun. The first time meeting him and his now fiance. Congratulations with that one.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Really appreciate that. You heard me?
Yes, and they're good people, so, we had to have them on just to be enjoying us and all. I want to get to this, like, how was y'all week this week? Like, how was y'all week? We're going to start with Ro, since he ain't been here in a while. Ro, how was your week?
I'm just trying to get readjusted to being back in the normal time zone, normal temperatures. I took a couple days off of work. I'm off tomorrow. It's been a real lazy week for me. Like I said, I'm still trying to get readjusted to life back in the States.
Willie?
Well, my week's been pretty much same old, kids, work, all the good stuff. But it's been good, been blessed. Everybody's well. Everybody's made it to all their activities and appointments. So I've been having a good week.
Beezy?
Well, my week has been up and down, the balance of the highs and lows, First foremost, let me stop and let me say a rest in peace to Stanley Cummings. That's my fiance's uncle. He passed away. His funeral was today. I wanted to give that shout out. But other than that, like, my week's been, flow. I'm blessed.
That's what's up. Well, my week has been an interesting week. And before I get in my week, it slipped my mind. If you're listening right now, you're on. Did I say that right? I said that earlier, didn't I? Did I say you listen? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Y'all know where we at, blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio Show. If you want to call in and you want to join our topic, the phone number is 657-383-1155. Phone lines open up at 10:15, so if you call before then, you're going to be hanging on just for a little bit, and then we'll bring you in. But my week was interesting, to say the least. It started off good, and then, stuff went down. I know we was filling a lot of you guys in through our Facebook page, our regular Facebook accounts about all the stuff that was going on in Trenton. It was a standoff. A young man was being served a search warrant, in the wee hours of the morning, maybe about 5, 6, and shots rang out between him and the police officers. An innocent bystander lost his life, and 3 officers were injured in the process. So where I live, that's not too far from where I live. It's actually on the way to my work. So it was, hectic getting to work for the last couple of days. The standoff ended today. It was, 35 hours? It was a 35-hour standoff. So it affected 2 days of work that, we had to kind of figure out how to get to work, go through maneuver, sit in long-awaited traffic, just hectic. People couldn't come to work because they lived where, streets were blocked off. There was a lot of stuff happening. So, but other than that, my week was, I'm a mom. We go through mom crap. So I had mom crap going on. But other than that, it was an okay week. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad the standoff is over, but we're going to get right into that. How familiar are you guys with that? And I know we shared some stuff through our Facebook pages, and a lot of us, and we were sharing this through I Am Out. BZ, you weren't a part of that, but I'm pretty sure you saw some of the posts throughout the news. Did anybody have any thoughts on that?
I heard about it. What day was it that it first started? The first day it started. What's today? Today's Thursday. So what was it? Tuesday it started? Wednesday?
It was yesterday. It was yesterday.
It was Wednesday. All right, yeah. Wednesday morning I was at work on break, and breaking news came across, and they were talking about it. And I'm like, oh, that's like right around the corner. I didn't realize the seriousness of the situation. I just heard that the officer, a couple officers were hurt. And then videos started coming out, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all over the place. And I saw the video, which is kind of crazy, the guy crawling on the ground trying to, shelter, get some cover and everything, and you just heard the shots ring out.
And then you see him get shot, right?
Crazy and everything. I know yeah. And I don't know if it was one of the articles I read on, like, one of the news sites or something, but the guy, like, he was out in the street for a couple of hours, or I don't know if it was a couple of hours or what, but he was out.
Yeah, he was out there for a couple of hours. He got shot, and he was out there for a couple hours. From what the news reports, and like I watched the live stream all yesterday, and basically shots rang out. I don't know how soon after this guy just came strolling around. I was more upset as to why the officer told him to come near them versus just getting away from the scene. But anyway, they said the officers told him to come here, and he crawled near the cops, and that's when the shots rang out after that. And he was hit several times. The officer had dodged the bullets. You saw the man kind of laying there. The cop got up and ran. Another cop came in, and then 2 other cops kind of drugged the guy off, but they never sent him to the ambulance immediately. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole Facebook Live and all that. Like I said, I saw a video on YouTube. Apparently the guy was across the street. I don't know if I guess he was across the street because he had the video, the cell phone video of the guy getting shot. But it's crazy, like that the technology these days. Like that's what happens. People put these things on YouTube. People put these things on social media. You hear about these things from them before you hear about it from the news.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say. I've seen it on the news. Actually, on Facebook. I call it Facebook, but I seen it on Facebook. Sorry. Before I actually seen it on the news, you know what I mean? And it's kind of devastating that you did something, you know what I mean, of that importance, you'll see that on a social media site, you know what I mean, prior to seeing it, you know what I mean, being televised on the mainstream media, like the news.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, even here in Michigan, I mean, I'm in Detroit, so I really didn't even hear about it at all until you guys started posting it in the chat, and then I started seeing it on the news feeds, and just what y'all alluding to, the whole Facebook Live, the YouTube Live, all that stuff, it's changing the face of the way things are being reported. It's changing the face of how information is getting across to people. And, I mean, it's been doing that for a while, but, that's the thing is you're seeing the uptick of it even more now. And, it's good and it's bad. I mean, it's good in a way because we can get the information quicker. We can get the information more raw and real, a little less dramatized by the media and the way the media wants to spin things, but
that was one of the main issues people were saying. They were like, because this is the way it happened. People were still in their houses, so people were locked in their houses. And one of the last thing I was watching, it was a girl, like she was 2 houses down from him, and she was in her house, and she like you could see it all, and it was like they basically, a lot of, and this is what came up. A lot of people were talking about they didn't want the cops to just kill another black man, and it's like we get that, but when you put yourself in a situation, it's a possibility that things can go left, like especially something like that, and. When they serve warrants in the morning and they kick your door in and they announce who they are and they come in. And when they did that, shots rang out, and that was the reasoning behind it. But I think people were recording it because they wanted to let everybody see what was going down, so that way if it was a situation, that it was like, okay, well, this is what happened. Whether how the media spin it, they can't spin all these live streams and all these. Because people were live in it and they were uploading it right to YouTube.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I saw the video right on YouTube. Like, I think they said they uploaded it like 7. Like they served a warrant like 6 o'clock in the morning. By like 7, 8, 9 o'clock, there was about 4 videos on YouTube of the shooting. And then
and they were shutting down the lives as well.
Yeah, the one dude
they were shutting down people's live feeds too.
For like 2 hours. He had been out there for like 2 hours. Like, I tell you, like the timer counting. He had his live stream up for about 2.5 hours that day. So he was out there. I don't know what kind of phone he had with that battery life, but he was out there.
Oh, that guy, yes. He had the Galaxy 8 Plus. Yeah, that guy had that. He had it going on.
Right there. Yeah.
Yes, he had that good camera view. He was zooming in all.
One thing I want to bring up that now we're talking about the media, spinning things and everything. So I was reading a newspaper article. I think it was on NBC 10, and they were interviewing people in the neighborhood. And the one lady they interviewed had said that, and I hate when people do this, and that the media finds it, that, the guy, the suspect that had shot everybody was like, he's a well-known, well-liked guy in the community. I never would have thought he would have did anything like this. He's a father of 2. Like, where do you find these people that come up with these, that say these things? Like,
because they
come out to some real people.
Yeah, because they want to humanize the person.
Crazy. That nigga crazy. I know he was gonna do some shit like this. Like, come out for real. Don't find those fake people in the news that he's a good person. They don't. Like, I don't know the dude, so I really can't speak on it. But every time something like this happens, you always got that one person that be out there that be like, he's a good person. This isn't him, something's up. Like, no, keep it real. The nigga crazy, he shot an innocent bystander. They holed up in the house for 2 days now. Like, keep it real. Like, don't be out here trying to find somebody to make this guy sound like the perfect guy. Like, no, he may have been before, who knows, but not right now. Now is not the time to be doing that. Yeah,
they said the warrant was related to a Megan's Law offense. He didn't sell the register from 2013 or something like that, or 2003 or 5 or something, and back in then, and he didn't register, so that's what the warrant was for.
Because he didn't do what?
He didn't register under the Megan's Law registry. So he's a sex offender. He's a sex offender, and he didn't register, so they served him a warrant. But from what the numerous accounts say, he had to register back in 2003 or 2005, and they were serving a warrant in 2017. And a lot of people were saying that was the issue. Like, why serve the warrant that late? Like, if that's the case, you should have served him back in whatever year it happened. He should have registered.
They should have locked him up. They probably came to lock him up. You know what I mean? I know I might sound biased, you know what I mean, salute me or shoot me, but I have no kind of love, you know what I mean, for no, like, weirdo like that or that nature. Was a sex offender is a sex offender. You see what I'm saying? Like, you like, if you know you done wrong, you know what I mean, understand, you know, like, the rehabilitation and all this part, but you know, like, at the end of the day, you know, you got to do what's right. If they serving you a warrant, then they serving you a warrant. Like, is it worth a standoff? That's my thing. Is it worth a standoff? You know what I mean? And
no
you can't
time of the day should
justify
warrant that.
And that was the thing, like, because like now you were getting served with a not registering for a sex offender fix. Whatever charge you were going to get, it wasn't that many years. Now you're about to get served with a murder charge for an innocent bystander and attempted murder of 3 officers. Like, do you understand, like, how your life has drastically changed? And I get it because, you know, people fear the cops. You know, we went through that speed. We had that conversation. You know, black people fear the cops, and especially a black man, and blah, blah, blah. But I got to give it to Trenton Police Department. I have to give it to the Sheriff's Department, everybody that's out there, because, like I said, in certain cities, people don't come out alive.
True.
This man walked out of his house and was able to live. So for that, you have to give credit, because people say these cops are always trying to shoot somebody, and that you have to give them credit. Like and I understand the stigma. Black people don't trust the cops, and rightfully so. We have our issues with that. But I can say that in my town, I'm surprised, and I'm surprised how it was handled. And then what pissed me off too, I was watching some of the Channel 6 news on social media today. I was listening to the comments, reading the comments, and then you get here's my problem with people that live outside of Trenton, New Jersey, or for that matter. When something like this happens, Trenton ain't shit. They got a bunch of animals in there. These monkeys. Why don't you just go ahead and kill them and get over it? Why you stand out there and just go in there and kill them, like gas them and shoot them, blah blah blah. And then they go all the way to race, and it becomes a race issue. And that part bothers me. It's like, okay, this guy committed a crime. I'm not saying that he is innocent, but these cops took 35 hours to talk this man down, where in other cities people got shot for less.
Agreed.
So I commend them for getting him out without any further injury.
True.
Yeah,
I mean,
he could have been dead anywhere else.
It's not the police's job to perform the judgment and the execution on the streets. That's well above and beyond what their call of duty is. They shouldn't be out there doing that. So it's like you said, it is a little bit more commendable that they did that. I mean, it's a long time, but it's not their job to go in guns blazing, shooting everybody and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just overkill.
Hey, you know what? Shout out to the judicial system for once again failing against the city of Trenton. Why I say that is because, like, the guy should have been, on the sex offender list, 2003, maybe 2005, however long that it took. But, like, here we are in 2017, and now you finally got around or got to the glimpse, let me serve this guy a warrant. Now you lost an innocent bystander, and 3 other innocent individuals that was performing the job also got injured. So, shout out to the judicial system for failing, for failing once again in this country. You heard me? Yeah,
it's just crazy because, like I said, you look at this stuff, like I said, you look at the things that, and then today I got into the conversation with one of my coworkers about the current games thing, and I said, here's the problem, and I said, look at this situation. This guy did this crime. He got served. Like, that's what happens to anybody. He's not the first person to get served 6 o'clock in the morning. It happens. He decided to shoot and stuff like that. Like, you have to take accountability for your actions, and at this point, you got to think about your family. Your family's about to witness you possibly get killed because you don't want to, and I get it, you want to stay in ground, stuff happens. I don't really know the circumstances of why he stood in the house as long as he did, because we don't know. We won't know until it's out in the news. It might not be the truth, whatever. But I just feel like when you do stuff like that, it's consequences to them actions. Those cops could have easily shot and killed them. They did not do that, thankfully. But in a situation that it could have happened the negative way, where he would have came out in the body bag versus walking out a free person, not a free person, but like alive. But people would have been like, they killed another black man. He didn't deserve that. And it's like, this man shot. Now, mind you, it still has to be an investigation of whether or not the gun that he had shot and killed an innocent bystander, or was it a ricochet from the cops, or whatever, what have you. We don't know that for sure, so we can't really say he killed this innocent bystander. It has to be proven that he did it.
Hey, you know what, Sonny? Let me say this. Let me go back and retract them words, because, again, you had just pointed on something. You did say, well, we don't know where the stray bullet came from that killed the innocent bystander or even hurt the police officers. When I say the Justice Department, shout out to them for failure. Look, and I know this not this same instance. However, the gentleman that was killed in Baton Rouge by the officers in that fatal shooting, Alton Sterling. How about the Justice Department didn't charge them with the shooting of that gentleman at that store? You know what I mean? That was killed. That was life was taken. One of them incidents that you were speaking of. So that's when I was referring to something of that nature. That's the Justice Department I'm talking about for failure. You know what I mean? To convict a guy for executing the people that we've seen on live media, which AKA Facebook. You see what I'm saying? And this instance, the only reason I respected that because I didn't want to deter the audience and have them think that, I witnessed the guy, actually shoot an innocent bystander or even shoot the cops, because possibly you don't know shots fired, you don't know, which direction they came from. So, continue on. Man.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true. Yeah. They have to investigate, find out where it actually came from. That's true.
Yeah, because they said, from what the news report said, they said that one of the cops basically, not that, I don't know if he shot at them, he shot or whatever, but the cops were hit with ricochet shell casings. That was one report that I did read. They said it was ricochet shell casings that some of the cops were hit with. Mm-hmm. And then my only issue was, how come the innocent bystander was not told to go the opposite way versus come to a police? That part I really have a problem with, and I said that before and I said it again. I don't understand, whether he's going down the street and come out the corner and see something, you see all these cops, you go the opposite way. But then what bothered me, too, is, okay, so now these families are locked in their houses, but as people out on the streets watching this happen, bullets don't have no name on it. You got kids out there and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, if that guy decided to come out of the house and start shooting guns ablazing, and you don't know if he had target practice, he know how to shoot properly, so bullets go anywhere, and they ricochet. So your child could have been hit with a bullet because you were outside trying to figure out what was happening, and your child was outside with you. Those type of situations I don't understand, because it had been somewhere where I lived, or where it was not too far from me, but had it been on my block, or me and my kids would have been elsewhere. We would have been at the lowest part of our house. Nobody would have been outside looking at no one. I don't want to know what's going on. All I want to make sure is that my kids are safe. So I think that people, that when the situation happens, I know that people want to be nosy. They want to get it for the live. That's one thing we talked about on past podcasts, about how people get so wrapped up in trying to get a video or something that you lose track of, what's sensible. Protect your children. Your children should not be out there. This is a hostile situation. This man already came out the house and started shooting, or came close to the house, outside of the house, and started shooting. Who knows what could have happened? He could have decided to get up and just start shooting again, and somebody's kid could have got hit because they were outside when they shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking at that point in time. He could have went. Yeah, he already, like you said, he already shot one guy, shot 3 cops, or I shouldn't say he did, but one guy already died, 3 cops already got hit. You don't know what's going through this dude's mind.
Right.
He and not knowing if they're going to take him out, if he's going to make it out. He might just come outside and start shooting because he wants to die. He may have been like, these cops, shit like that's going to happen. You never know.
Yeah, so, but I want to get kind of off of that and get to the Jordan Edwards, Willie.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everybody, like you said, not everybody makes it out alive in these police situations. Like last week, we were going to try to touch on this, but we definitely wanted to get through it today, was touching on the Jordan Edwards situation, the situation where the young man in Texas, in Balk Springs, a small town in Texas outside of Dallas, Dallas suburb, was killed on April 29th while he was at a party. They were leaving a party, him and his brothers and his friends, and a police officer, Roy Oliver, opened fire on their vehicle, first claiming that they were driving aggressively in reverse towards him and some other officers. Once the police chief of Balk Springs reviewed the tapes, he found the body cam tapes. He found out that this was all untrue and that the young men were actually driving away from the scene. And whether or not they were driving away, either speeding or driving away trying to elude the situation. The thing is that they weren't under arrest. They weren't being pursued by the police at that time. There was a noise that occurred, and the officers reported, and even the boys reported that were in the car reported that they heard a noise that sounded as though there may have been some kind of gunfire, but they but no one's ever been able to conclude that there was actually any kind of gunfire in the whole area. But the officer opened fire anyway and shot and killed Jordan Edwards, and I believe he may have injured another one of the young men in the car as well. In this situation, finally, the Justice Department has, sped up the process. They've looked into the shooting and started an investigation, I believe, about a week ago. So it only took them less than a week to start the investigation. And the young man's father, Odell Edwards, he's also filed a federal lawsuit against the officer, Roy Oliver, for excessive force, as well as brought up 2 or 3 other instances of Oliver's misconduct in the last few years. One as early as 2 weeks before Jordan was killed, Roy Oliver was reportedly brandishing a gun and poured a weapon on a driver who rear-ended his vehicle while he was off duty. So this is just another senseless case where an officer should have been taken off the force or should have been evaluated and wasn't. And so unfortunately, this young man lost his life at only 15 years old. So hopefully the Justice Department and the local the local district attorney, does what's right in this case. And right now, I think Oliver is charged with murder. He's out on bond, $300,000 bond, but he's going to stand trial for the murder of for Jordan Edwards. Hopefully, they'll also take into account the fact that he did try to cover up this situation. And that's the one thing that we haven't been seeing, is that any kind of consequence for these officers trying to cover things up or trying to elude their charges by setting up the blue shield and all that. So it's good that they're finally being held accountable, but it's also there needs to be consequences behind this for these ones that are getting acquitted. But we know that they either lied about the situation or tried to cover things up, or had evidence moved and that kind of thing. Because I think even the guy who killed shot the guy in the back when he was running away, when he tried to move the gun or try to move it closer to him or tried to make it look like he had a gun, even he was acquitted. But he is standing charges for civil rights violations, and so he's facing life for that. So finally, there's some consequence for him, but we'll see how that plays out as well in the courts.
Yeah, I want to say this before we get to the other guys. I'm surprised to see a better picture of Jordan than it is for the cop. The cop is actually in the lineup picture, about to take a mug with the mugshot picture, and this is the first time we're seeing something like this. We usually see the kids in the picture that's not flattering. They're probably doing what kids do, stick their middle finger up or showing money or something like that. This boy was an athlete, and he has a very nice, like I said, even when we did the D.C. Missing Girls, their pictures were a little sketchy, and this is the first time I'm seeing a child of color have in a long time, have a good picture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus
that's true.
the cop or the person that did something to them.
Media portray them other than the animals.
Yeah.
But see, like my issue is deeper than just the officer being charged. You know what I mean? The officers, like in the Freddie Gray trial, those 6 officers, they was charged, and however none was convicted. All charged, or was acquitted, none convicted. And the list go on and on. Sandra Bland. You know what I mean? We could talk about countless murders. See, my thing is, even on social media and even on television, like how you mentioned, the guy getting shot in the back. This happened in North Carolina. Here we are. We watching this on daytime live stream television, or we're subjected to it on social media where we watching people, innocent people getting executed, on live television or live social media, and nobody's being convicted and also being convicted of a crime. And to me, and I think it's even worse, like filing, I think like filing civil suits before, the criminal, the criminal cases is closed. Like, I think that's, and it's sort of like, you're being paid hush money. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, because civil suit is judged at a different standard. That's why, because if they can't get a criminal case, at least they're gonna hurt their pockets. I guess that's how they feel. Like, well, since you can't get you criminally, I'm gonna hurt your pockets. And at the end of the day, like, it's not really justifying them killing their child. It's just like, I can't get you this way, so I'm gonna get you this way.
But see, for me, it's not you couldn't put a dollar amount on the pain that I feel if that was my child. You see what I'm saying? It's not a dollar amount that you can actually give me to take that pain away, or even make, like, hit them in the pocket. How you gonna hit a person in the pocket? You know who paying for that? We are as taxpayers, because the
taxpayers, exactly.
At the end of the day, it's coming from the taxpayers. So like, you're not hurting anybody if a man that's executing another man on live television or executing a kid on live Facebook, and you know what I mean, and you walking free. You going home to your family. Those kids or those individuals, you know what I mean, they're being taken away from their families. Alton Sterling had 5, 6 kids. Like, his kids will never grow up with a father. Now we got
that thing was crazy, and that's what we're never going to get past that stage where it's like I said, you can see that they got body cameras, they got all this stuff, and they're still getting off. So it's like, we got body cameras, we're going to stop all this stuff. No, it's not. Like, the body cameras are publicizing for everybody to see, and it's like, it doesn't matter because they're still doing it. Right. They can say, and that's why I said, we said this on past shows, they can say they felt threatened. Your job is a threat. It's like a firefighter saying, I feel scared. You walk into fires, that's your job. It's a scary job. And it's like you said, you guys are in the military. You go in the military, you understand that it's a possibility that something can go wrong. So you can't say that, I felt threatened. It's a threat, but it's a job alone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's why I don't understand how they could say that. And it's like, this is your job. You're threatened every day. What do you mean?
But see, in that aspect, like
this officer.
Yeah.
This officer was dispatched to a 911 call for underage kids drinking at a party at 11 o'clock at night, right? Mm-hmm. He rolls up to the party, allegedly heard gunshots, and that's when the things started going crazy. He allegedly heard gunshots. His original story was the car was coming toward him. Well, I already found out that was false from his body cam. Body cams don't lie. He can sit here and lie all he wants to. My thing is, they say he shot into the car with an AR, with an assault rifle. He shot into the car that was driving away from him at a scene of an underage party with a bunch of kids. How much of a threat, and it wasn't even confirmed that there was gunshots out there, how much of a threat is that you had to pull out an AR and fire into a car? First of all, I'm pretty sure that's illegal.
Listen to what we're saying. First off, you know what I mean, and I've never been to police, but I've been in the military. And if you've been in the military, I'm pretty sure, and you know what I mean, you've been around the world, you traveled, then you know what I mean, everything have procedures. Okay, first off, did those kids when you was
you have rules of engagement. You have rules of engagement for situations.
Yeah. Did those kids pose a threat? Second off, did you see did you from that car? Obviously, you didn't if it's going in the opposite direction. You see what I'm saying? So you hearing a gunshot, regardless. If you hearing a gunshot, that okay. If you draw, did you see a weapon? Did you try to disarm? If you did see a weapon, did you try to disarm it? Was the weapon pointed at you? Did you fear for your life? You see what I'm saying? These are the type of questions.
Right.
I look. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not a police officer. But these are the type of questions that should be asked. You see what I'm saying? It's too easy to convict one of these cats. You know what I mean? It wasn't a threat posed because the kids were going in the opposite direction. Did you what is it, detain? You didn't arrest them, so you didn't have them detained. They wasn't detained, so even if you heard a gunshot, what was your protocol? I'm pretty sure call for backup, or right or wrong. I ain't judging.
Yeah.
I think the whole thing was just handled totally improper. The cop is obviously high-strung, highly agitated, bad temper. Like I said, he has 3 incidents against him, being complaints that were filed against him in the last 3 years, and one of which, like I said, was in the last 2 weeks, where he's pulling guns on innocent people
so he
for no reason at all. So exactly, and then so now of course, once he got arrested and he was put in put in jail, his family comes out and says, "Oh, well, he has PTSD from being in the military," and it's like, yeah, that's fine to have PTSD, but when you have that, and you're not being
we all got
PTSD. Exactly. When you're not being checked and double checked while you're being, having complaints filed against you, then that's a problem with the police force. That's a problem with the procedures at the police station. They need to, or with the police station, they need to be checking those officers that have those situations and ensuring that they are stable and that they're fit for duty. They cannot just put anybody out on the street just because they just want bodies out on the street, because you're going to end up with bodies on the street. So that's the problem. And the big thing is that a lot of the court cases that have been so lopsided, but there's still this thing about they don't want to convict cops, and that's what's got to stop. That's what's got to end, is that they have to hold these police officers accountable.
Agreed. But you know what else? You know what another possible solution that we haven't thought about, or like I haven't heard being actually like recommended. Like, how about like getting officers that grew up in communities that want to be police officers, individuals that want to be police officers? How about getting them, if they grew up in the community, how about they police the community that they grew up in? You know what I mean? And that way, because if you're accustomed to dealing with certain type of things, then you could probably diffuse a situation before, it escalates. You see what I'm saying? If you like somebody from Trenton that grew up in the neighborhood from Trenton, using Trenton as an example, I'm not from Trenton, but say somebody grew up in Trenton, and they grew up around there, like people be accustomed to seeing their faces, and then
it gives you rapport, right? It gives you rapport and gives you a reason to want to handle it properly, right? It's that level of respect to the situation.
Well, that's funny, because a lot of the cops now, a lot of the cops now, well, even that we have, a lot of our cops are Trenton residents, because some of them some of them live further out, but for the most part, majority of them grew up and were born and raised in Trenton or very close to Trenton. So in some states they do have it like that, where it is people. This is why I said when we talked about the standoff, a lot of people that are out there were born and raised in Trenton. Some weren't, but for the most part, some were. And I guess, like I said, like Trenton cops, the most you get with them is they got an attitude problem. They got that superiority complex. They trash talk. They'll smack talk the shit out you.
We just use Trenton as an example. Like, I'm glad Trenton like that, because you never see Trenton on the news possibly for something. They conducted themselves and handled the situation. They handled the situation properly. However, you can go places like Louisiana or Atlanta, Georgia. You see what I'm saying? And you get them guys that be gun holding. They be from they be from bumblefuck Egypt somewhere. And they out there playing rodeo cowboy, and they out
Right.
Call of Duty. They playing Call of Duty, taking lives. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They don't have a sense of responsibility to the neighborhood because they're not from there, and I believe they have a few communities here in the Detroit area that have those kind of policies where they prefer you to either live in the community or be from the community, that kind of thing. There's no directives that at least for some of the suburbs that they have to be from that specific community, but from around the area. They like to have them from around the area and have them police the area. So, but a lot of times too, it's about how you are deployed in the area, right? Like a lot of the cops that you see in these situations, they're rolling in, from one community to the next and that kind of thing. And like you said, they're gung ho because they don't know the area. So what a lot of the community policing that they're doing here in Michigan is that you now have to walk the beat. You have to actually walk around, and you have to actually talk to the citizens, be a part of the community, so that way people give you a level of respect, and you learn how to give them a level of respect, because then you start to get to know the people that you're policing. So it's got to be a more of a push for that kind of thing. Community policing, it has to be the push, because other than that, people don't respect the police, and the police don't respect the people, and that's not right.
Yeah. All right, guys, I want to kind of lighten up the mood. We got a lot of heavy stuff, but that was like a lot of. I mean, that was a really good conversation, and I like where we were going with it. And I like I said, some of the stuff we kind of talked about on previous shows and how we felt about that. And it's definitely conversational piece. No matter when you having it, it's always a good conversation. But yeah, it's just been a lot going on, and we hope that a lot of these situations change. We hope that the police and stuff and people in other townships and cities learn to work more with the community versus against, and try to get these situations with as less damage as possible. But we want to kind of shift into a lighter topic. You know, we don't want to be serious all night. We want to laugh and have a good time.
Right. But before you move on, let me say this: shout out to Bethune-Cookman. You know what I mean? The historical Black College University, shout out to them for their
definitely commend them. Yep.
Yeah, for turning their backs and booing her for her derogatory comments. What a jackass. Now continue on.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we kind of y'all know spring is officially here, even though it don't feel like it in some parts. But you know how y'all men go crazy when y'all see the women in the spring dresses, the Sundresses. Y'all, got y'all little memes. Y'all be excited.
Sunset season is upon us.
Yes. Well, and as a female, y'all know I had to add in this because you can't let the guys take over the conversation. We had to talk about sweatpants because I could have added work pants and basketball shirts, but I'm gonna leave it at gray sweatpants. Y'all, we women, y'all know we love them. We are excited about it. I had a discussion 2 days at work about this conversation about gray sweatpants and that one. And so this is our topic. Basically, which is more revealing? We did a poll, whether it was sweatpants and sundresses. Of course, sundresses won because all the men like, yes. I'm like, shut up because it's only spring. Whatever.
Of course. Right, of course. But no, I didn't realize. There was a certain color of the sweatpants. I didn't.
Because the gray sweatpants don't hide nothing.
I wanted to talk on that. Yeah, I was like, what difference does it make? Like black ain't good?
No.
I mean, you really
no.
see black.
The gray sweatpants are very light, and I'm not. If somebody said the thin sweatpants, no. First of all, we're talking about regular pants. Y'all know sweatpants look like that. That's regular sweatpants. But the gray, the issue with the gray ones are
sweatpants.
No, gray sweatpants. It's a whole different ball game. It's just something about them that looks beautiful.
Listen, now let me clear this up. I posted a pic. Once you put the ad out there, I posted a pic, you know what I mean, for the ladies. Look, my inbox started jumping crazy on Facebook. Social media is the devil, you heard me.
Let me tell y'all, because sweatpants is in. Y'all don't know.
I got a fiance.
I didn't realize.
And y'all can't, and like everybody can't wear sweatpants. Every guy should like y'all say, all girls can't wear sundresses. All guys can't wear sweatpants because if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Matter of fact, I was leaving work today, and some guy had on pajama pants. He looked like he was out there just high on, I don't know what, walking through South Trenton. This man had on pajama pants. When I tell you, I'm like, he might as well have a pair of sweatpants on. It was a beautiful sight, and I don't even know if he's attracted to women. But what he had was beautiful. That's all I'm going to say. We watch. Like, as much as y'all watch us in sundresses, we watch all in sweatpants and work pants and basketball shirts. and even pajama pants. Go ahead.
No. You said pajama
pants? Pajama pants, too.
So I of course, I've never noticed the whole sweatpants thing. I didn't even realize that was a thing. I'm learning here. So.
Gotta educate y'all.
Nah.
I posted a pic and it almost got
the Sundress thing is official. That's a nationally approved holiday. I'm sure it is.
Facts.
I ain't gonna lie, but listen. Here's my thing. I had a guy. I took my son to daycare, and I like when the spring hit. I got dresses for days. But I don't have like I used to have a back with a crank. Now I don't know what's happening with it. Depending on the day, it might show up. I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, you buy the dress to fit your body type. So but here's my problem. Y'all dudes be dead sisters and why y'all wearing drawers with sundresses. First of all, people go to work. I can't be at work without no drawers on. because y'all want to be happy about me wearing or a female wearing a sundress. Who gonna be at work? But it might be some socks or some ladies, girls. I ain't gonna call y'all socks because some of y'all might want to be free balling. But there's no way in hell I'm gonna be at work without no drawers on or nothing at work with a sundress on just to make sure y'all can be happy. I don't have time. I can't have no loose booty at work. That's not cool.
That thing's supposed to
that
balance in the way you heard.
Time and place
I'm
for
sorry.
everything.
Yeah, I think that might be inappropriate, especially at my job. I don't think that
Yeah,
even
it's
fly.
a time and place for everything.
Yes, the time and place now. If I'm
Man, wait,
if I'm
pause. Hold up. You mean to tell me that, you know what I mean, like that thing don't, you know, it's like we call it that jiggle. You know what I mean? You got to have that jiggle regardless. I ain't saying you got to have a loose booty now, but I'm just saying that sundress, that when you walk, we call it a sway. You got to have that sway. You know what I mean? It's supposed to bounce, you know what I mean, swerve left, swerve right.
but it ain't supposed to be all loosey-goosey while you at work.
Talk to me at work. That's the whole point of the view. You know what I mean? I'm still a man. I got eyes. 20/20 vision have not left the building. You understand? You heard me.
You know what? That's terrible. That's my problem. Like one day I was walking in the place at my company. He was like, "Oh, you got enough underwear on," and I was like, "Why would I not? Like I'm going to work. Like what's now? If I was home, that's a different story. Like if I'm home, that's different. I'm with it. But like I'm not about to be at work with no loose booty.
Loose booty at work.
So I got a question. So what's the difference when you see women that wear you know that they're what is it, the leggings or the tights or whatever, they wear that like
yoga pants and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you see that at work all the time. It's crazy to me because I'm like, for one, they're not supposed to be pants, and people, you see women wearing them as pants, and then I don't know if they not wearing underwear or what it is, but it's over the top, and it's like
most females. I'm gonna put y'all down on something. A lot of females that when they wear leggings, they don't wear underwear. Or if they do, they wearing something like thongs or a jean, whatever. That's why they got too much weight. And then I tell people, if you don't wear leggings, wear the proper ones. Don't wear no see-through leggings with some light pink drawers or thongs like a bitch can't see them. Like first of all, you have to be appropriate when you're at work. Now I wear leggings today to work, but I had a shirt that covered it. Now it depends on how you wear them. I don't necessarily like to wear them at pants. If I do wear them, I want something that's going to cover my butt because, you know, you just got to be appropriate when you're at work. But I think people do go far. I think people wear leggings and you can see right through them. They ain't got no type of drawers on, just loose booty just everywhere. And I get it. You want to jiggle, but like it's appropriate time for that shit. Like if you're going out clubbing, you want a loose booty, go ahead, bitch. Go ahead, high five you. Loose booty, do it. But don't be at work. Like and I said, I work in a state building. You see chicks damn like they're going to a club at work. Like why is your booty loose like that? Like I said, I look at asses, whether it's male or female.
We didn't say we want attention seekers, but you know, like the sundress. Let's get back to if the sundress moving and your body swaying, you see what I'm saying? This is different. But now if you over here with the leggings, the see-through leggings, baby, you looking to get drafted for the night. You know what I mean? The one
drafted. Oh yeah.
The one
right.
He said drafted. You looking to get drafted? You know what? But I just think, like I said, I mean, and one thing I do like to tell people is, if you're gonna, females, if you're gonna wear a sundress, wear something that fits your body.
Right, yeah.
You got a lot of people that wear dresses that they just should not be fucking wearing, whether you got a shape or not. You have to buy it like me. I don't have too much of a, like I said, my butt is questionable on a day that you look at it. Maybe one day it might be an ass, next day it's like, bitch, left. I don't know. But if you got a nice set of girls, you can kind of get a dress that fits you up top and then kind of flow, and then you throw a little jacket on and you still got kind of a illusion of, bitch, you don't know what I got under here. I may got an ass, I may not. You don't know. And then it depends on how you can hold it a certain way to make it, you know. But I just think people, like, and I get this, I'm like, it's a if you wear a short dress and it's real nice, they look like the legs, like look on thighs, you know, whatever. So y'all get like the full, but like I think the gray sweatpants reveal the main topic. Like it reveals, like you look at an ass, that's nothing. Everybody got ass. People got asses, titties, whatever. But if you walk by a man and he got the sweatpants on and they looking nice on him, you know what he got. You know what he has. Whether he can handle it, or he can do what he gonna do with it, that's different. But you know that he has something that is that might be pleasing to somebody. So I think for me, sweatpants win over sundresses because you're seeing the key ingredient.
Well, all right. So I got a question for the fellas then. Since it seems like there's a color preference for the sweatpants, is there a color preference for the sundresses? A print preference? What's your guys' opinion on that?
There's no color preference really. I mean, as long as it fits nice and looks good, I think it's like more of a material thing. Like it ain't no sweatpant kind of material. It's got to be. It can't be nothing all thick and all that. Like I don't know what kind it is, but it definitely ain't no sweatpants material.
No, but they got different ones. They got the cotton ones. They got the silk flowing ones. I think the ones that guys like are the fitted ones, the ones that fit the body, like the ones that are like bodycon. They like. I think guys like that more because it's fitting.
I don't think it's a preference. Me personally, 36 folks. All we looking for is the radius, baby. You heard me. That's the reason why I got down on my knees. Shawty got that radius.
You know what? And I was checking out she do that nice frame. I give you that. I give you that.
Personality to match with it. You heard me?
Yep, that's what's up. That's what's up.
The personality man. All right, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yes. But I don't know. I don't know how y'all don't know about sweatpants. Y'all never seen the female look at y'all different when y'all walk in the house or walk around with gray sweatpants. Y'all don't see us jamming like all out there.
I've been on that. I come over.
I ain't know it was that vicious. Look,
it is.
I didn't know it was that vicious.
No, as a matter of fact, the other day I went on lunch, right? My homeboy, he was like, "What you doing for lunch?" I'm like, "I ain't doing shit. I walked up in town, so I met up for lunch." Let me tell you, because he married, it's my homeboy, like we like best friends or whatever, right? I was talking to him the whole time, didn't realize this man had sweatpants on. And I said, I need you to get away from me. He was like, why? I said, because you married and we too fly for me to be looking at you like that. He was like, what you mean? I said, I need you to move away from me. I said, because that's tempting. You going to sit here for fucking almost 45 minutes and I didn't realize that's how much, he like a brother to me. I can't look at him like that. But when I realized, I'm like, you got a great sweatpants? He's like, yeah. I'm like, he's going, and he busts out and laughed. I said, I need you to, I had to kind of keep myself away from him. Like, let me just keep looking this way because, you too fly for me looking at you like that, but I might want to look. Because
I had to delete my pic, right? I had to delete my pic. I had to delete my pic that I had put on the post because my Facebook flockers, that's what I like to call them, they flocked to it. My inbox was jumping crazy. I can't be laying in the bed with my woman and my Facebook jumping like that. So, you know what I mean? The comments, I was like, oh, hell no, let me go delete this pic. You know what I mean? Had to
and it's funny because my coworker
back down, you heard me?
Yeah, and my coworker showed me this video on Instagram. It was this girl going out with her friends. She had a sundress on. It was really fit and it was really cute too. And her boyfriend said, where you going with that outfit? She said, I'm going out with my friends. And so she was like, ain't nothing wrong with my outfit. They was arguing about it, right? So he said, okay, well, then you can go out like that. I'm going to go out like that. Nigga came out the bathroom with gray sweatpants. And I tell you, everybody on his body part said hello. It said hello. And she was like, and she flipped out, like, you ain't going fucking outside. Like, she snapped because she already knew that if he walked outside with them gray sweatpants, we was flocking to him. So, I thought it was funny because it's like, okay, so you're going to go out with a sundress, I'm going to go out with sweatpants. So do you think it's appropriate? So if y'all, now that y'all know that us females like to see y'all in sweatpants, basketball shirts, work pants, because I look at work pants too. Any type of, I'm sorry, I just lost the train of thought. Pajama pants, I just had a mimic pop in my brain. But anyway, so at that point, so if you post a picture with gray sweatpants on and your girlfriend, you get like 100 likes and your girlfriend is flipping out, you know why. So I'm just letting y'all know. So if I'm gonna tell you I'm talking to. I'm gonna tell my friend, listen, you're not gonna post no pictures with you in sweatpants. He's gonna be like, why? I'm not gonna fuck you up and fuck whoever else comment on your shit. Because that's like an unintentional invite to people to be like, oh my god, and then people get slapped up.
Yeah, I guess I missed out on that because I don't even own sweatpants, let alone gray sweatpants.
Maybe get you a pair, and just walk down the street one day. Draws or no draws, we could tell either way. We could tell if you got draws on. We could tell if you don't. Either way, like y'all ain't hear Kevin Hart when his dad used to show up to school with sweatpants. What? Yeah. Don't do it.
I must have missed that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. How his dad used to come up to the school with sweatpants on. with no drawers. Yeah, it's serious. So all I'm saying is for my male friends, I love y'all. If I'm cool with y'all, don't ever fucking be around me with sweatpants. If you catch me looking, it's your fucking fault and leave me the fuck alone and just mind your business. Act like you ain't seen shit. I'm trying to, be cool, but, you just did that. Like, I was minding my own business, and you just showed up with that bullshit. I'm like, what was I supposed to do? I'm sorry. I just got really happy about that.
Right. I love my wife with her sundresses.
Yeah, but that's crazy. So, guys, we about to get to the after show. After the party is the after party. We haven't done an after show forever because usually our topics run all the way into the after show. I don't even think I know what the after show is anymore, huh?
And I'll say that is true. We've been pushing them.
Yes. Oh, and next week, guys, before I forget, my birthday turn up. We will be having a podcast on my birthday, May 18th. Tune in at 10 o'clock.
Ooh.
I'm probably going to be under the influence of several alcoholic beverages, but we are going to turn up, and we're going to talk about some drunk stories or high stories, which is, just fun.
Oh, that sounds like a one of them, fam.
Right? Sounds like a party. I know. If I slur my words, I'm apologizing on this podcast. I'm telling you right now. I apologize for next week.
In advance, right. Apologize in advance.
Apologize in advance. Whatever I say should not be held and used accountable against me, the court of law. If I offend you, I don't know what to tell you. I'm drunk. I'm trying not to get too drunk to after
this is grown folks talk radio, so they gotta be.
Say this grown folks business.
Yeah, exactly. But I got a question for y'all.
In the bed.
Right. But let me tell you something. I got my thing planned out. I got it. Like both my best friend gonna be gone. My boo thing gonna be gone. So I can't boo love. My bestie gone. I really can't. Like I can turn up, but it's not gonna be the same with the people you roll with. So I'm gonna start off by getting drunk in the house, and I could, if anything, I could fall asleep wherever I fall asleep at because it's my goddamn house. So that's
there you go.
That always seems to work well.
If I fall asleep on the set, so who fucking did?
Yeah. Usually you don't get hit. You don't hit with any DUIs. You don't have to worry about anybody trying to mess with you. You usually pretty safe. You can do it at home. Everything's all good.
Yes, but
and you don't hit these potholes that they have in.
Stay away from the stove. Stay out your kids' room. Don't be bothering your kids while you're tipsy.
I ain't gonna bother them. I'm trying to get them to go to bed immediately. But I had a question for you guys because this came up, and it's kind of this is where my brain. Wait a minute, it just left me. So I know I'm old and I'm tired and I got a snotty nose, but I had something I want to ask y'all now. I just left. All fired. Right?
Alzheimer's moment.
You said what? I am. I got great hair that I want. Shut up. Y'all older than me.
Hey.
Barely.
Yeah. Say what? What was that?
Are we waiting on the question?
Barely.
Nothing.
No. Okay. So y'all know me and basketball broke up after the dismantle of my entire team. So, like, what's going on with the playoffs? Because I heard a bunch of different stories about how it sucks.
I really don't follow basketball until like the finals, like the actual real finals. I really don't get into the playoffs. The finals is what I usually watch. I did just catch the end of the game, and San Antonio did just win. So
yeah, they about to get thrashed by Golden State.
And Cleveland is Golden State and Cleveland is doing their thing. I know that for sure.
I just think it's
so looking like a Golden State Cleveland return on
number 3.
Yeah.
You said Golden State and you said Golden State and Cleveland.
Yeah, I wish
that's
they would.
I think I'll go to the finals.
Yeah, ain't no that's you know what I mean. It's what I mean. Like it's no way possible anybody else can win. San Antonio got maybe like a 2% chance they could beat Golden State, but highly doubt it.
Wait, when does Cleveland come on? When's Cleveland's next game?
Cleveland not gonna get tested. If Cleveland get tested, it might be by the Wizards. You know what I mean? John Wall, Bradley Beal, them young legs. You know what I mean? Get up and run up and down the court. Nothing against Boston, but Boston don't have enough firepower you contend with a Cleveland. But Cleveland, me personally, I think Cleveland, like LeBron legacy, I like he the first. Let me say he the best player on the planet today. He is. However, him being compared to Jordan is uncomparable. The reason I say that is because, like, you know what I mean, LeBron, every team that he done won on has been a put-together team. You see what I'm saying? What I mean is, if you look at Cleveland team this year, the media might say Golden State better because of Kevin Durant. That's a lie. If you look at Cleveland bench players, they got all-stars and starters from other teams on their bench. So when LeBron get a rest, Kyrie get a rest, Kevin Love take a break, you know, you putting in other all-stars or other starters on other teams from other teams. You know what I mean? Like, you got a built team that's, like, how many championships you want to win? Shit, you should win. That's just my point, you know. Like, you the best player on the planet. Michael Jordan, look, Michael Jordan, he might have grabbed, what, Dennis Rodman? Scottie Pippen was already there. They was winning with a Steve Kerr, Luke Longley, B.J. Armstrong, Craig Hodges, some nobodies. You see what I'm saying? It's the difference. Like, I just think, like, today, man, sports, like basketball is kind of, like, overrated. Then plus, like, you know, they, you know, like, the way the league play is, like, all the touch fouls, everybody friends, you know. I like competitiveness. You know what I mean? Like, we gladiators. That's something, you know, that's just common. You got to be a gladiator. Today, everybody shaking hands. They friends on the court. I'm like, I don't want to watch this crap. You know what I mean?
Now, you know, I've heard two different sides. I've heard some people say that, you know, saying that it's too light, it's too friendly, it's too fluffy, and then I've heard some people say it's more cutthroat, it's more competitive. So I'm trying to figure out what is it? Is it timing? Is it the time of the year that you see more cutthroat play, more competitive play? Is it the playoffs you get it and you don't see it during the regular season? So what's up with that? I mean, I don't really watch the.
Man, y'all got to think about the 90s, the 90s, 89, 90.
The bad boy year. The bad boy years. Yeah, that's my city. So.
Hey guys.
The old Celtics with Larry Bird, the show, you know what I mean, the Michael Jordans, the New York Knicks with Patrick Ewing, you know, John Stark, the Indiana with Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, you know what I mean, out in Phoenix, or even when he was with Philadelphia, you know, them teams, they scrappy, you know what I mean, they hate to lose, you know, they hated to, you know, like for teams to come on their court, like uncontested left. Now today, you foul somebody, like, you foul them, like, you know what I mean, you hit them, like, you just tap them and you getting ejected from the game. Like, they was throwing full blows because they were clotheslining each other. I'm like, that's basketball. Like, if you play outside on the court, you know what I mean? Like, me growing up, like, you catch them elbows when you play with older guys until you get big enough to, you know what I mean, to dodge them elbows and throw them back. You see what I'm saying? It's like everybody friends nowadays. And, you know, it's like a score-happy league. You know what I mean? Now, granted, the players, they're more evolved. So, you know, Kevin Durant, 7 feet. You know what I mean? 6'11", 7 feet. The dude jumpers pretty. You know what I mean? Like Steph Curry, pretty shooter of all time, hands down. You know what I mean? Granted, you know what I mean? The game evolved. However, you know what I mean? The competitiveness. You know what I mean? I think it's been stripped from the game. Allow them guys to be gladiators. Otherwise, you know what I mean? What's the point of watching it? If they not going to compete, they're going to get out there and run a gun. You know what I mean? It's not worth it to me.
Hey, guys, I'm just reading the news on Facebook. A 3-year-old boy was rushed to the hospital tonight. Out in Trenton, he was outside playing on 100 block of Exton Avenue out West Trenton. He was shot. He is listed as stable condition, but police announced there are no arrests in the connection with the incident. Mercer County shooting response team is called on the scene and is investigating. Like, what the fuck is happening in Trenton? I swear. Like, we just got through standoff, and now a 3-year-old little boy gets shot. Like, this is the problem. Like, this is one thing I don't like about Trenton is because once the weather breaks, which is everywhere, it happens everywhere. It's not just Trenton, but like if the weather breaks, these kids are outside playing, and now somebody's a 3-year-old is shot. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Is it say he was shot in the shoulder?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Streets ain't safe. It's not even the streets ain't safe. It's just it's crazy. Like Will just said, it's crazy. Like there's no words to describe it. Like this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's out of hand. It's out of hand everywhere, like you said. And when it gets warm, that's when things really start to heat up out in the streets. Here in the city, in Detroit, in Chicago.
Yeah, that's everywhere. Like people just start
Cleveland, everywhere. It's just, it gets out of hand.
But I want to say this before we continue on. BZ had to get off the line. He had to go do what he had to do, but we want to thank him for joining us tonight. Definitely shout out to him.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Definitely appreciate
it. A lot of
good
energy over there. Appreciate it.
Yes. He left the bowling alley to come be on the podcast, so you got to give him respect for that.
Oh, that's what's up. That's up.
Yeah, and he was in the bowling. He was just hanging out, but But thank you for joining the show. But what the fuck is going on in Trenton today? Like, what the hell? Like,
that's sad. That's just really sad. Hopefully he recovers and they can figure out what happened, what's going on over there.
You can imagine, you're 3 years old, minding your business, sitting there playing with Play-Doh and trucks and sitting outside being a kid like you're supposed to be, and something crazy like this happens. Like, you can't even go outside. You can't even go outside and be.
This is why I said about the standoff. About how people but this happened at 8 Sunday night. This is why I said we talk about the standoff. These kids are outside, bullets don't have no name on it. This 3-year-old was probably just playing and running around doing what kids do, and all of a sudden you shot. What the hell?
Yeah.
Did they say where did they say you said they don't have no suspects or anything?
They don't have no suspects. They're investigating. It was on the corner of Stuyvesant and Exton Avenue. And there's helicopters out there. I guess they're trying to figure out figure out what happened. But now this mother, this family has to go to the hospital because the 3-year-old was shot. How do you that's traumatizing. He's only 3.
What's crazy about this situation? Somebody out there knows who did this and what happened, but and little kid had to get shot and now little kid's involved. But nobody is gonna step up and be like, oh shit, my bad, I shot a kid. Right. Even if it wasn't a kid, nobody's gonna come up and say oh shit, my bad, I shot this person, or this happened. This is gonna be one of those things that I don't want to say get swept under the rug, but it's
about to say, but right, we're gonna the rug, yeah.
We're gonna hear this story for today, and it's gonna be on the news tomorrow, and that's probably gonna be it. You're not gonna find nobody's gonna come forward and say anything. A little kid sitting here shot in the shoulder over some nonsense. Guaranteed it's over something stupid.
Yeah, it's probably somebody else beef with somebody, and he just happened to be in line of fire, or a bullet ricocheted. Just stuff that could be. That's why I said these people out here shooting like they know how to shoot, they've been trained to shoot. You don't shoot. You're a bunch of cowards because you're shooting at someone and you don't know how to aim. You can't just walk up to somebody and shoot. And not saying that you have to. Not saying that I want you to. But if you're gonna be having an issue with somebody, go up and shoot them. Don't go just shooting into a crowded area where there's people outside and there's a possibility you can shoot people that ain't gonna do nothing. And there's a lot of this stuff stems from gang activity, people that are in this situation because that's what they choose to do. And now other people that got nothing to do with nothing are being harmed in the middle of this stuff. And it's you could put that, because you want to shoot somebody, go join the Army or the Navy or Marine and stuff and go overseas and do that.
Oh, they ain't brave enough for that. That's the thing.
Exactly.
They don't have the heart for that. Yeah. They don't have the heart for that.
Exactly.
They think they're big and bad, but they're not, and they want to show off. But then you give them that option. No, they're not about to put their life on the line for anything, any reasonable cause, any good cause, any noble causes. They're not going to be a police officer. They're not going to be a soldier. They're not going to do any of that. So
no, they want to sit home and shoot somebody for stepping on their Jordans or something like that.
Yeah, it's just sad because, like I said, you got these people, these kids getting harmed because someone else chooses to do things that affect other people, and people lose sight of that. These are kids; these are people that had nothing to do with nothing, not living the type of lifestyle where they was trying to go. You can be cautious, and that's what I was saying to my friends, because his brother is a police officer with the Trenton Police Department, and as an officer, his parents were worried about him. They were worried about, him and his safety and stuff like that. And like I said, these officers, not all, choose to go onto the force to go kill people. They go to protect and serve these communities, and stuff happens.
Right.
Every shooting is not an intentional act of wanting to shoot and kill someone. I don't think they go on their jobs saying that they're going to go kill someone. They go to protect and serve, and sometimes bad things happen. And each case is a case-by-case situation. So you can't condemn all these cops into saying that they're this type of way. And, it's not just cops shooting black people, it's cops shooting people, period. And,
it's true, too.
Yeah, because people get that mixed up. And I had the conversation with somebody, and I said, if you look at statistics and look up for each state, and you'll see how many cops, police involved shootings, and 95, I can't say the percentage, but it's more people that are not black that have been killed by police. But people forget that.
Yeah. But you know what, too? The other thing people forget is that we can't fully only rely on just the police when it comes to trying to deter crime and trying to keep our streets safe. A lot of it can be relieved by people doing things in the community to try to steer kids in the right direction. I mean, being a mentor, being a sponsor, being in kids' lives, volunteering, things like that, I think also helps. It keeps some kids. It'll motivate some children to stay off the streets and get into activities or careers or whatever the case may be that are more beneficial to keeping the community strong versus breaking it down. You know what I mean? I know as I was growing up, the choices were out there. Either you could be in a gang, you could deal drugs, you can be out in the streets, or you could go and get your education, or you could try to get out the hood, or whatever the case may be. And I chose to go in that direction because for me it just made sense because my parents are going to kill me one way or the other. But I still had that choice. I know people whose parents were just as strict as mine, or more, but still ended up on the wrong side of the ball because they didn't have the motivations. I've had conversations with people who felt like there was no getting out of the hood, but I'm like, I've seen people get it out. I've seen people who did better or did well for themselves and was able to escape the life of crime or the life of gangs and that kind of thing. And but they didn't believe that was an option. Or didn't think that option was for everybody, and it's like if they saw more positive reinforcement of that, they could have gotten out or at least made the attempt. It doesn't completely save you 100%, especially nowadays where, like you said, bullets don't have no name. People do things happen in the hood, and you can't really control stuff that happens. But the thing is that when you are the steering your own destiny and you choose to go in that wrong path, sometimes it could have taken just somebody coming in to talk to you at school or coming in and being a mentor in a program that you were in to kind of steer you back on the right path. And I think that's something that people have to keep get involved in as well. Support these projects and these programs that do these kind of things in the neighborhoods. Open the doors for that if you're a business and that kind of thing. It's important. It's definitely essential. And definitely if you have a business and you can go out and volunteer. I mean, my company, we're a larger company, but I work for a larger company, but still, even when I worked for a small company, we did the same things. We went into schools, we went into different community programs and did volunteer work. And to show them that, hey, I lived in this neighborhood, or I lived in this area, or I lived in the city, and I made it out because, I made a choice, So it's definitely important.
Yeah, that's why when we grew up, we had a whole lot of different programs. Now a lot of the programs within the city are non-existent. So we used to have big cakes and popsicle. You had when you go to the park, they had during the summer, they had these different things going on. You get a lunch, you can hang out at the park. They got the pools. It was so much stuff we could do that didn't involve us being outside just doing nothing and wasting away and getting into bad things. And now it's just not that anymore, and that's why you get these kids don't got nothing to do. If they're not going to a program that their parent can't, their program prices went up, so if your parents can't afford it, you're in the house all summer doing nothing. You're home during the year doing nothing after you get out of school. You don't have nothing to do. You don't want to do anything. Because things are costly.
Right.
Now that's an opportunity for you to do stuff because it's not affordable to your family, and then you get sucked into the being outside, like the people that stand out on the corner, stuff like that, and you get sucked into that.
I was growing up in Willingboro. We had recreation every summer. It was free. I mean, we would go in every summer. We would go there. They had swimming pools at all the schools. We would go swimming. We did talent shows. We played on the playground. Every once in a while, they would take us to the parks like Clemson. We paid for that and everything, but it was free. It was always something.
Right.
Nowadays, they close all these schools in Willingboro, or so these kids don't have nowhere to go. I mean, these programs like football and basketball, baseball, recreation, PAL, all that stuff it's kind of non-existent now.
Right.
I'm pretty sure they're out there, but it's not as big as it used to be before when I was growing up. I'm talking like almost 20-something years ago. 20-plus years ago. I'm out here now trying to, like, coach football with the little kids to get out here, show them, like, hey, there's more things to do besides just sitting in the house on video games and sitting on your cell phone, Go out here and play some sports. Go football with the kids and something like that. Go play something. Like kids out here that don't even know how to throw a ball. Like, come on, that's the simple stuff. They teach you that in school, but
I think
that's true. It's sad to me that we can spend trillions and trillions of dollars on the military offensives and everything. But we have to choose, and I'm all for safety. I'm all for, protecting the world and that kind of thing. But, it's like, it's sad that the sacrifices we have to make at home and in the communities when a lot of the things that, like you said, that would keep people from getting into bad things, that will keep people from, being on drugs or being in the gangs and all that kind of stuff, are taken away, stripped away because, they want to line their pockets with something else, or whatever the case may be. I mean, they spend so much money on the lobbyists and that kind of stuff, and a lot of that money just goes down the drain instead of going to where it needs to go in the community.
Mm-hmm.
That's just crazy, but let's just wrap tonight's show up. I don't even know what to say at this point because I'm just really disappointed, like, at what's going on right now in our city. We could be so much better than this, and it's just not reflected in these last couple of moments, last couple of days. So I'm really like, I don't really know. I'm just still sitting here like, I can't believe this shit. I hope whoever it is, they find them, they catch them, and they just go to hell, go to jail, or something. Like, this shit is crazy. There's somebody's 3-year-old child. Like, this is just crazy. So we're gonna wrap tonight's show up, guys. I want to give out your info. That's Willie Styles. That's Styles with a Z, STYLEZ. You can catch me at Willie Styles at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, a little bit everywhere. WillieStyles.info is where all my links are. AskWillieStyles.com is my blog, so definitely check me out. Thanks again for everybody for joining us. Thanks again to BZ for joining us as well. Yes. Well,
y'all already know how simple it is. JRO609, JRO609, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, any other social media site I missed. Just Google it. You'll find it, JRO609.
And y'all know I am Sunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. Follow me on my blog, unreservedlyme.com. Shit Clean Up, A King's Truth. Check out his blog. It's very interesting. At eTrendGlue on Twitter. On Snapchat, it's Clint Black, BLAQ. I got BZ's info, too. Let me shout out his information before I forget. His is Pablo. What is it? Can't find it. I just had it too.
S-O-B-Z.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's Pablo_SOBs. Check
him out. And his Snapchat is Barack_OBs. That man's crazy. But his info, you can follow. You can do his information is on our Twitter. We tag him in the picture so you can follow him that way and if I'm through his social media accounts. Check out our website, GFCRadioshow.com. Check out our Facebook page, GFC Radio. We got Tumblr. We're on iTunes. Check us out there. All our shows are on iTunes. on blogtalkradio.com/GFT Radio, and it's on our YouTube page. Subscribe to that. All our info is there as well. So every way you can get in contact with GFT Radio is on our website, gftradioshow.com. Thank you guys for listening tonight. Be tuned in next week, my birthday. It's going to turn up hopefully by that week.
Oh, yeah.
Got these shit together because
yeah, the turn up gonna be mad real. We're gonna hear all about Sonny's.
Yeah, I got some stories too. I got some stories. I got some stories that shouldn't be told. I got some stories that should be sold. I had some epic nights. Some nights where you just
it's gonna be epic. It's gonna be a movie. Make sure y'all tune in. It's gonna be a movie.
Yeah. It ain't gonna just be my story. Y'all better share some too.
It's all about you. Spotlight, you know.
Y'all gonna be judging me.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that.
Y'all gonna be judging me harshly. You're gonna be like, "What the hell?" Y'all gonna look. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know my lifestyle. Yeah, but thank you guys for listening. What'd you say?
I said it should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm not the only one sharing my story. I better share some stories. Hopefully people call in and share stories. I want to hear y'all stories too. But yeah, thank you guys for listening tonight. You guys want to say bye?
All right, hold on. We can't just say bye. Just because Quinn ain't here don't mean we can't keep it real.
What? See y'all in 7 days?
See y'all in 7 days.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Philly. Hold on the line, guys.
Right.
You've reached the High Fashion Hotline.
Hi, I walked the dog, washed the car, and took the kids to practice. All that's left to do is get new summer clothes for my family.
Just go to Old Navy.
Old Navy?
Yep, they'll love Old Navy's summer styles. And right now, during Old Navy's Thank You event, get 30% off your entire purchase, 40% off when you use your Old Navy card.
40% off?
That's right. Don't have a card? Open one today in store and save like a supermom at Old Navy and OldNavy.com.
It pays to be mom. I'm going to Old Navy now.
High Fashion, Old Navy. Valid 5/10 to 5/14. 40% offer subject to credit approval. See stores for details and exclusions.
Only T-Mobile gives you unlimited data with taxes and fees included, so you save hundreds a year. And get 2 lines for just $100 a month, all in with AutoPay. And right now, harness the power of unlimited with the Samsung Galaxy S8. It's the fastest Galaxy ever, so it deserves the fastest and most advanced LTE network. Why wait? Switch today, only at T-Mobile.
Top 3% of users greater than 30 gigabytes per month may notice reduced speeds. Price includes sales tax.